that time, the events of second, can you confirm that at that time, on the 5th of November, the events of the 2nd of November were still fresh in your memory? Can you confirm that you have a better recollection of those events on the 5th of November than you do today on the 17th of June 2025?
I think you're very memory.
Can you confirm that you would have had a better recollection of the events of 2nd November 2023 on the 5th of November 2025 than you do now on the 17th of June 2025? Almost 2 years later.
I still remember them.
But would you agree with me that you would have had a better recollection on that day? On the 5th? Has your memory improved since the 5th?
That's what I'm sure on. There's nothing on my.
There's nothing on it. Is it therefore your evidence that your report contains the truth, the whole truth of your report? You have had a number of meetings to prepare you for trial in this court.
No, I don't.
Have you had any meeting to prepare you for trial in this court?
No, I don't. I'm on my.
No, leave alone being on your report. Have you had any meeting to prepare you for what to expect in the trial in this matter?
No, I don't.
Have you received any advice to alter or change your report?
No, I don't.
Even though you can be translated?
atugambire nti yakwikiriza ye niyo lipooti yandike akagiyandiikira ebyokwezi 5 mwaka 2023 yatugamba ebintu ebyabairewo ebyokwezi 2 mu 11 mwaka 2023 byonna atyabituka bulungi kandi yatugamba busawo kintu kyonna kyakusobola kwongeramu. Yatugamba ripoti yaye ya mananu gonka kandi mananu. Yatugamba nti ataikala omulwatu lwona nayetegekera kwija mu kooti kandi yatugamba takatungire magezi gona yahindura ripoti yaye.
Okay, thank you. Now, can you just go to your report and confirm at any point in your report, do you talk about changing gloves?
I don't have not put
Did
everything.
you just answer my question? Please, let's work together. I'll be very brief with you. Just can you confirm, did you at any point in your report mention that you had changed gloves?
No, I don't.
you at any point of your report mention AIP or one?
I don't mention it.
You can confirm his two names?
I know one.
You only know one name. So you only know one name of one.
It's Myron.
And in your report, he is not mentioned there. Right?
It's Myron.
Do you, at any point in your report, claim or state that you went to Ginger Road Police Station?
I don't put it in the right one.
Do you, on any point of your report, claim that you marked the exhibits?
No, Myron.
Do you, at any point in your report, mention the number of swabs you took on the hands of Mrs. Katanga?
No, Myron.
Now, I want to suggest to you that all that evidence you have given in this court is an afterthought and a result of witness coaching.
Myron,
Am I right? All those things which you have added.
Myron, I request for correction.
For correction, sorry. Which paragraph?
4.2.
4.2.
It's Myron.
In paragraph 4.2, do you mention the number of swabs you took from Mrs. Katanga's right hand?
I didn't mention, but I mentioned what I did.
No, you say you swabbed. That one I'm not.
It's swab, yes.
Yes, I'm asking you, do you mention the number of swabs?
I don't mention.
So I'm putting it to you that your entire evidence in this court is an afterthought and the result of you being a coached witness. Am I right?
No, Myron.
Is it your evidence that your memory is better now than it was on the 5th of November? 2023? Is it your evidence that your memory is better today, the 15th of June 2025, 17th of June 2025, than it was on the 5th of November 2023?
No, Myron.
You can drop it.
Gambile nti atakuteeke mu ripooti yayi takayigula gloves then yatugamba eibara enayibyogwanga nayo ataliteeke mu ripooti yayi kyonka yatugamba ono amanyiro just ibara lindyonga yakyola yatugamba nti talina nali yakuteere mu ripooti yayi nti akagenda Ginger Road Police Station. Then yatugamba atakiteekemu ripooti yaye nti akamakinga abizibiti. Then yakyolo yatugamba nti atakiteekemu ripooti yaye emirundi number of swabs byeyatungire amukono gwa Mole Katanga.
Okay. So I put it to you that the evidence was an afterthought. Am I right?
No, my lord.
I want you now to get for us prosecution exhibits. Prosecution exhibits 56, 55, 8 to 82. I know they've also been joined by my long friend, Mr. Katanga. Is it A to D? A to D. The swabs. You justified that after you finish swabbing, you put the swabs in what looks like an envelope. Can you confirm that is not the envelope where you put the swabs?
It's not this one, my lord.
What exhibits are on that envelope? Were written on that envelope? If you could just assist in the court. Is there M1? Is M1 there?
M1 is there, my lord.
M2?
Is there, my lord.
M3?
Is there, my lord.
M4?
Is there, my lord.
And K?
I don't know it.
Is it there?
Is there.
So there is an exhibit in that envelope that you have no idea about, correct?
Yes, my lord.
I want, it was your evidence that you wrote the suspect's name, the part that you had swabbed, and you wrote your name and date and sign, right?
I wrote the name.
It was your evidence that you wrote your name on those test tubes, right? You said that in your evidence in chief.
Yes, my lord.
Now get for us M1. Does your name appear on M1?
It's not there, my lord, but I'm writing.
No, we are looking for your name. So when you testified that you wrote on M1, that was a mistake, correct?
Yes, my lord.
It was not true, correct? Can you look at M2? Is your name written on M2?
My name is not there, my lord.
So when you testified that your name I put it to you that when you testified that you had written your name on M2, that was not true, right?
No, my lord.
Is your name written there?
My name is not there.
So when you said it was there, that was false. Correct? Was that true or false? I put it to you that that was false.
No, my lord.
Was it true? Is your name there?
It's not there.
M3. You testified that your name was written on the swab of M3. Can you get it? Can you get M3? Do you have it? Is your name on that swab?
Is definitely on the swab.
So when you said it was there, that was false.
On the swab or the test tube?
On the test tube. Is your name on the test tube?
It's not a test tube.
It's not a test tube.
It is a swab tube.
Is your name on the swab tube?
It's not there, my lord.
So just so we have the terminology correct. Is your name on the swab tube for M1?
No, my lord.
Is your name on the swab tube for M2? Is it?
No, my lord.
Is your name on the swab tube for M3?
No, my lord.
And is your name on the swab tube for M4?
It's not there, my lord.
You also told this court that the markings M1, M2, M3, and M4 were done by Assistant Inspector of Police Ogwang, whose other name you do not know. Is that correct?
Is it correct?
I put it to you that there is nothing on those swab sticks that show any connection with you.
Not true, my lord.
What is there on those swab sticks that is connected to you? Is your name there?
My handwriting.
Is your hand? Do we have evidence of your handwriting before this court?
It can be submitted. It's not
Do we have evidence of your handwriting before this court?
There's no handwriting before.
Okay. Secondly, on what date does the swab stick claim M1 was taken? What is the date on M1?
Is it made for?
What is the date on the? Is there a place for date on the swab stick? Look at the swab stick. Is there a requirement for you to put the date?
So the date was made for.
You said you dated it in your evidence in chief, right?
Yes, my lord.
Now, when you look at the swab stick, look at M1. Look at the swab tube, M1. Look at the swab tube, M1. Is there a provision for a date?
There's a provision for a date, my lord.
What date is written there?
I don't put a date.
There is no date there.
Yes, my lord.
Is that the same for M2? Look at M2. Is there a provision for a date on M2?
Is there, my lord?
What date is there?
It's not there.
There is no date on M2, correct?
Yes, my lord.
Is there a date on M3?
There's a date.
On M3?
Yes, my lord.
Let's see it. Read the date on M3.
It's not there, my lord.
There is no date on M3. Is there a date on M4?
My lord, I never put a date.
Is there a date on M4?
It's not there.
Not there. So there is no signature and no date, right?
Yes, my lord.
And no name of yours, right?
Yes, my lord.
Now, on that form, on those tubes, is there on that tube, is there the word bed dash for a bed number?
It is there, my lord.
Look at it. M1. Read for us what bed was there.
It's not written there.
It's not there.
Yes, my lord.
What about M2? Is it there?
It's not there, my lord.
I put it to you that it's also not there on M3.
Yes, my lord.
I put it to you that it is also not there on M4.
Yes, my lord.
Anybody looking at those swab sticks would not know that you recovered them, right?
No, my lord.
Would someone know or they would not know?
Would you know?
They would know. Any person in this country who looks at those swab sticks would know that they are recovered by you.
It's Pascal, no.
Any person looking at that test tube, would they know that it is recovered by you? On the face of it. What is your answer? Any person looking at that test tube, would they know that it is recovered by you? Please look at me, I'm not talking to you. Would they know it's recovered by you?
I don't know, my lord.
Is there any indication on that test tube that it is recovered, on that swab tube that it is recovered by you?
It was me who recovered it.
Is there any indication on the swab tube that it is recovered by you?
Yes, my lord.
Can you show us that indication?
Handwriting.
So we have to know your handwriting.
Yes, my lord.
And is your handwriting before this court in evidence? Is your handwriting before this court in evidence?
No, my lord.
Any person looking at those swab tubes, I put it to you that they will not know on what date those swab tubes were recovered, correct?
Yes, my lord.
Now, I also want to put it to you that when you left IHK, it is evidence that you packed those swab sticks, correct? Those swab tubes. So there's evidence that you packed them in what looked like envelopes, right?
Yes, my lord.
And you can confirm that the envelope in this court is not the one you packed it in, right?
It's not the one, my lord.
So even you cannot be sure that what is inside those tubes is exactly what you supplied. Right? Now, I want you to look also, I want you now to go to exhibits. We've done M1, M2, M3, and M4. I want you to go to M5, 56, 57, and 58. My Lord, as they're being prepared, maybe we can have a translation.
Tugambira obujulizi bwa form 40 atatutekereza omu. Then yatugamba envelope nali swap ziri talinawo yaziteire. Then yatugamba M1 ibala lyaye kirina naliri. M2, M3 na M4 kusawo naliri. Then yatugamba bikamakingibwa AIP ogwanga. Then yatugamba tigali mazima nti zino tubes nti tizibizaayo. So ekyola yatugamba M1 alo naali okuteeka ebiro by'okwezi kyonka tibiina naali biri. M2, M3, M4 niko kiri kityo. Then yatugamba busawo n'alali sigineja ebiro by'okwezi yadde ibala. Then yatugamba buli tube alo bed number kyonka busawo wonna naali bagiyandiikire. Then yatugamba nti omuntu takusobola kwetegereza ebiro by'okwezi bye bakoleyo swabs ezo. Then yatugamba eno teri envelope naali yapakingire ebyo yabaira ku.
It was your evidence that after you recovered the items, they were marked by AIP Ogwang, right?
Yes, madam.
Were they also sealed by AIP Ogwang?
Yes, madam.
I want to give you prosecution exhibit 56, which contains M5. Confirm it contains M5. Is it M5? I want you to look at, do you see the evidence, the filling in of the evidence in pen, and the description of the evidence? Do you see that?
Yes, madam.
Can you go to the part recovered by and confirm to this court that Exhibit M5 was recovered by a police officer called AIP Olugu Emmanuel? Is that what it says?
Yes, madam.
Does it mention your name?
Not madam.
You say it was packed by Ogwang. Can you look at the bottom and see where it says sealed by? Can you confirm it says sealed by AIP Ogwang Emmanuel?
Yes, madam.
Can you confirm that is on the 3rd of November 2023? Read the date. Where it says sealed by, on the date it was sealed. Next to the name of Ogwang, does it say Ogwang sealed that exhibit on the 3rd of November 2023?
Yes, madam.
So when you told this court under oath that you and Ogwang packed that exhibit, that you recovered it and Ogwang sealed it, that was false, correct? You recovered it on 2nd, that was false, correct?
Not false.
So the packaging of that exhibit is the one that is false.
I don't know, madam.
Is the packaging of that exhibit true?
I don't know, madam.
When you told this court that Ogwang had anything to do with that exhibit on the 2nd, that was also false. Ogwang is signing on what day?
On the 3rd of November.
On the 3rd of November. So you gave this court untrue evidence, right? I want to give, did you give this court untrue evidence? Confirm your evidence was not true so I can go to the next question. You are not in a position to speak. Should we take your silence as an answer? Should we take your silence as an answer so we can move to the next one?
I beg your pardon, madam.
When you testified in this court that Ogwang packed that exhibit on the 2nd of November, that was false, correct?
Maybe the language used is the one of fail to understand it.
It was a lie. When you told him it was packed on, when you told this court that that thing was packed on 3rd November, you were lying. On 2nd, when you told this court that exhibit 55 was packed on, exhibit 56 was packed on 2nd November, that was a lie, correct?
My lord, they don't say that it was packed.
You
He
did.
received them
On the 3rd,
on the second.
from Olugu.
That time he received them.
From Olugu.
Not from me to Orobo.
Does your name appear on that chain of evidence link on that envelope?
No, my lord.
Can you go to exhibit 57? 50, that was what? That was M5. Can you go to M6? Which is 57. Are you at exhibit M6?
Yes, my lord.
Can you confirm it was recovered by air? It says it was recovered by AIP Emmanuel Olugu.
Yes, my lord.
Go to the person who sealed it. Can you confirm that person is not listed on that thing, on that inventory there? Is there a person who sealed it?
Nothing was written there, my lord.
Nothing was written there. And you are also not referred to at all on that document, right? On the envelope containing M6, correct?
Yes, my lord.
Can we now go to exhibit M7, which is PE 58? Can you confirm that that exhibit was recovered by AIP Olugu Emmanuel?
Yes, my lord.
Can you confirm it was sealed by AIP Ogwan?
Yes, my lord.
Can you confirm it was sealed on the 3rd of November,
Yes, my lord.
2023?
Yes, my lord.
Confirm that your name is not on that document. Correct? There is nothing on exhibits 55, on exhibits 55, A to D, 56, 57, and 58 that indicate you had anything to do with those exhibits, right? There is nothing on those exhibits that indicate anything to do with you, correct?
No, my lord.
Thank you. Okay, then, I want you also to confirm that none of those exhibits from M1 to M7 are mentioned by name in your report.
Yes, my lord.
I want to suggest to you that you claiming to have recovered and marked those exhibits again is an afterthought. And it's not true. Yes, your answer? You want to leave quickly? I'm about to finish.
I beg your pardon,
My question. From exhibit, there is nothing on exhibit M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, and M7 that indicates that you recovered those exhibits on the 2nd of November 2023.
no, my lord.
You have not been able to show us anything that indicates you recovered those exhibits. Right? Or should we take your silence as agreeing with me? Should we record your silence as consent? I think we should. Maybe we can be having the translation.
Is there anything on those exhibits that takes that they were covered?
No, my lord, do not.
I don't think I have a translation.
atwalira M5 ekatungibwa AIP oluvu then yakisilingire bakanywa mweta okwa obwezi 3 11 mwaka 2023 then yatugamba takumanya nti okubipakinga kutabe kwa mananu yachola yatugamba nti ibara lyaye kirina nali packaging awo yatwala M6 yatugamba M6 ikaba recovered by AIP olugu then yachola yatugamba ibara lyaye kirina nali then yatugamba kibusawo ekikoleka yasilingire then M7 yatugamba ayagirikavalingire akaba AIP oluku then ayasilingire akaba AIP obwa ebiro byokwezi bikaba 3 11 mwaka 2023 egaruka yatugamba ibara lyaye kirina naliri then yatugamba nti kigali mazima nti kibalina nali bakwoleka kitali niwe ayarikavalingire kandi yasiilinga ebizibiti ebi.
Okay, I want us now to go to prosecution exhibit 54, I think, your report. Do you have a copy of your report? So you stand by this report?
Beg your pardon.
Do you stand by this report?
I stand with it, my lord.
This report was written on the 5th of November 2023, right?
My lord.
You know that's a Sunday. That was a Sunday, you're aware?
Yes, my lord.
So you wrote it on Sunday, the 5th of November 2023.
Yes, my lord.
And you wrote it from Kabalagala police station.
Yes, my lord.
So you booked in at Kabalagala on the 5th, on Sunday the 5th.
That's why I was attached.
Did you book in on that particular Sunday?
Yes, my lord.
Okay. And wrote the report on the 5th. Can you confirm that the report is titled a crime scene report on case of alleged murder by shooting, Vibes Ginger Road CRP 1070 of 2023.
Yes, madam.
You refer to it as a crime scene report, correct?
Yes, madam.
And that is because you were treating IHK as what is called a secondary crime scene, correct?
Yes, madam.
And you will agree that all the rules regarding crime scenes apply to secondary crime scenes. Do you agree that all the rules governing how you handle a crime scene apply to secondary crime scenes?
Yes, madam.
So confirm that you are called to visit this crime scene in your capacity as a scene of crime officer. Soko.
Yes, madam.
Now, it is your evidence in paragraph 1.1 that you were called to IHK at 1 p.m. by Detective Assistant Superintendent of Police Mbabazi Mary, right?
Yes, madam.
Who was at that time the senior most scene of crime officer within the Kampala metropolitan area, right?
Okay, madam.
At the time that she rang you, Mbabazi Mary was the most senior scene of crime officer within the Kampala metropolitan area, correct?
Yes, madam.
So you were two Sokos present at IHK. Right?
I want the soccer, madam.
You were two. When Mbabazi called you, was Mbabazi at IHK?
I don't know why she was.
When you reached IHK, was Mbabazi at IHK?
She came later.
But she was present.
Yes.
Read paragraph 1.3. Read it. Read it.
Paragraph.
1.3.
Upon arrival, I found a team of investigators, which include Detective SSP Group, Vincent, Detective ASP Mbabazi, under the command of Kampala Metropolitan Bureau Investigation Directorate, Detective SCP Kagarura Bob.
So let's go through this again. When you arrived at the scene, you found Mbabazi Mary there. Is that true, or is the evidence you've just given true? Which of them is true?
She joined us.
When you read this, you say when you arrived, you found Mbabazi Mary there. Is that what it says?
Yes, madam.
So is this false?
My lord, I would mention the people who were there.
When you arrived,
Yes.
So Mbaba, was she there when you arrived, or she was not there when you arrived?
She arrived when I just arrived.
That's the third answer. So just so we are clear, the people who you found there, Okrut Vincent, he is a detective senior superintendent of police, right?
Yes, my lord.
He was the deputy KMP CID commander, right?
Yes, my lord.
You also found there Assistant Commissioner of Police Bob Kagarura.
Yes, my lord.
He was the commander KMP CID,
Yes, my lord.
the most senior CID officer within the Kampala metropolitan area, right?
I don't know, my lord.
So among the people you found there, you were the most junior.
True, my lord.
Now, when I go to paragraph 2.1, page 2, you arrived at, you said the team arrived on the 2nd of November at 1400 hours, right?
Yes, my lord.
So you got a call at 1300 hours,
Yes, my lord.
and you arrived at 1400 hours, right?
Yes, my lord.
So you arrived at 2 p.m.
Yes, my lord.
and you were immediately attended to by a nurse called Flavia.
Not immediately, but we attended.
How long did it take her to attend to you?
Took about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So when you got to IHK, all of you just waited at the reception for 20 minutes.
Yes, my lord.
And then Flavia took you, and the next paragraph, to somebody called Brian, right?
Yes, my lord.
Do you have, did you obtain, no rather, sorry. You did not obtain an ID of a person called Flavia, right?
That was my duty.
Did you obtain an ID of a person called Flavia?
My lord, I did not. That was my duty.
Do you have the full names of a nurse called Flavia?
No, my lord.
Do you have any indication, an appointment letter or anything showing that there was a nurse on duty at IHK called Flavia?
My lord, investigation part, not my side.
As a scene of crime officer, are you responsible for maintaining an entry and exit log at a scene of crime?
I'm supposed to make it.
Is there any log that a person called Flavia, allegedly a nurse, signed?
I don't know, my lord.
Is there one in your possession?
To be fair, I don't sit, my lord.
Pardon?
I don't sit, my lord, in my presence.
And you did not prepare a log.
I did not.
Then you say she handed you over to a doctor called Brian.
My lord.
You have no national ID of this doctor called Brian, right?
No, my lord.
This doctor called Brian did not sign any logs as well, right? Did Brian sign any log?
No, my lord.
In fact, neither did Kagarura, Mbavazi, and Okrut.
I don't know, my lord, if he signed.
Did you prepare a log which they signed?
It is done by CID.
Did you prepare a log which they signed? Yes or no?
On my side, it does.
In fact, even you do not have a log where you signed.
No, my lord.
So there's actually no evidence that on the 2nd of November you went to IHK. Correct?
It is there in the station. I booked a place.
Now, you then say that Kagarura briefed Dr. Brian in paragraph 2.2, right?
Yes, my lord.
Are there any minutes of any meeting of such a briefing? Do you have any such minutes or you don't?
I don't have my lord.
Do you even indicate in your report how long Kagarura's brief took?
I did not.
How long did it take?
No, no, my lord.
Was it more than 5 minutes?
I can't tell my lord.
Was it short or long?
I can't tell my lord.
Were you there when it was briefing?
I was there, my lord.
You were not there. Did he give a long brief or a short brief?
Just give it a short brief.
A short brief.
This is the one.
She said she gave a short brief. My lord, she has answered my question. She said a short brief. Yes, my lord, I am making that insistence. You then claim you went to the ICU room where the nurse Flavia identified to you Mole Katanga, right? That is in paragraph 2.2.
My lord.
Is there anywhere in your report where you indicate that you introduced yourself to Mrs. Katanga?
No, my lord.
Did you introduce yourself to Mrs. Katanga? I'm pretty sure that you did not.
I was the one not to talk to her.
Was she away?
It was order from the medic not to talk to her.
So you went to her and started putting things on her hands and mouth without saying a word to her. And she was looking at you.
The eyes were closed.
She was not sure. So even Mrs. Katanga cannot confirm that you were at IHK, correct?
I don't know, my
She
lord.
didn't see you since her eyes were closed.
I don't know if she saw me.
Pardon?
I don't know if she saw me. I don't know if she saw me.
Okay. Now, everyone can have a translation.
Atugambira kwemera na ripoti yaye akagiranyikirwa eby'okwezi 5 kwekuna mwaka gwa 2023. Kino ekiro kikaba kya sabiti akabalagala police station. Then yatugamba akafuna essimu agende mwekyo kiikalo. Then yatugamba ayamutere essimu akaba ASP Mbabazi Mary. Then yatugamba nti ogwo akaija kaire katito wamazire kwiga. Then yatutwala paragraph 1.3 nti Mbabazi akaika we natyamazire kwiga. Akasangayo omusirikale waisegi okurut na ACP Bob Kagarura nti abantu bona babaireyo weniwe yabaire junior. Then yatugamba paragraph 2.1 page ya kabiri nti akaikayo amwanya gwa saa 8 nti Nancy Flavia niwe yabakozerewo hanyuma y'akaire ka dakiika 20 nti talina mabara gonna ga Nancy ogwo akumanya walimu ya Flavia kandi ata preparinge antu wona okuwandiika then bwayamazire yabeerezayo ka Dr. Brian yatugamba talina ID yona ya Dr. Brian kandi kyakwijjuka naali yasayiningire bona nawe wenyini talina naali yasayiningire then paragraph 2.2 talina ona naali yahandikire Dr. Brian bweyabe naabaza n'omusirikale kyonka kyakwijjuka kitatwale akaire kanyu yatugamba bwayataire mu ICU room naali Katanga yabaye ati mbazo abokuba abadakitari bagaba mwakayi yatugamba wogo mukazi muri Katanga akaba azibirize na watambulolo.
Again, you had ended by telling us that the briefing was short. It was about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right?
Yes, madam.
So then, Flavia takes you to the ICU, right?
Yes, madam.
And whilst in the ICU, again, there is no log showing Flavia signing anywhere as entering an ICU with you, right?
Yes, madam.
Now, look at paragraph 3.1. And read it.
That the suspect was admitted to intensive care unit of IH hospital located on the same ground floor as the rest of the section.
Can you confirm that this paragraph is true? Is this paragraph true?
No, sure.
So when you wrote this, were you telling the truth or not?
It was true because of the record.
It is true.
Yes.
So she was admitted to IHK and the ICU, correct? Now, is that correct?
No.
Now, make up your mind, because you testified earlier that it wasn't an ICU. And here you're saying it's an ICU. At what point are you lying?
Because I never got there, they need the right for machine learning.
I want you to read 3.1. Is it true or false?
Then I came to know it's not true.
You came to know it's not true later on.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
You came to know it's not true later on.
Witness, what did you come to later on know?
God was no right machine in the room.
No, you can just a suspicion, but when you entered and said it's the ICU, why were you saying it's the ICU? You do not know where you were. Is it your evidence that you do not know where you were?
I don't know where it was.
What?
At a loss for what?
She had no idea where she was. I think the evidence is clear and unequivocal.
No. Let's clarify.
Have you been coached to say that Mrs. Katanga was not in the ICU?
Let's first get this right. You say that you are taking the ICU, but there was no law. You were asked to read reports, and then you say, when you were asked to say that suspect admitted in ICU at IHK on ground floor as the rest of the reception. Do you recall that it was on the same level as the rest of the reception?
Yes, madam.
Yes, that's what she said. It was on the same level as the rest of the reception.
On the same level reception.
What about paragraph 2.3?
So you were asked whether paragraph 3.1 is true. What is your response?
That's true, madam.
That's true. Okay, thank you. Now look at paragraph 3.2. Read it and confirm it is also true. Read it.
The suspect Katanga was in an open ICU room where other patients were also admitted.
Is that true? Pardon?
True, my lord.
And paragraph 3.3. Read it and confirm it is true.
We further observed that the suspect Katanga was at ICU bed covered with the hospital patient.
So, she was in. That is also true. Can you confirm it is true? Can you confirm that paragraph is true?
It is true.
So there were other patients also in that room that you went to, right?
I saw patients, yes.
You saw other patients. Your thing says patients. Let's be clear. Which is true? Is it a patient or patients?
Patients
You saw another patient.
at the corner, yes, my lord.
Did you establish the bed number? Is it in your report? Is there a bed number in your report?
Was no bed number.
Is there a bed number in your report?
No, my lord.
It was your evidence that you swabbed Mrs. Katanga's palms and the middle of her fingers, right?
Yes, my lord.
Can you now read for us paragraph 3.4? Loudly.
Established that the suspect both hands were wrapped with a bandage. The fingertip.
Read it. Am I correct if I read it to say, because I didn't hear you, if I read it to say, it was established that the suspect's both hands were wrapped with bandage up to the fingertips.
Yes, my lord.
Is that true?
It's true, my lord.
Let's translate.
tugambire briefing ekaba muno Flavia akamutwala mu ICU kyokka takujjuka bwakaba nata mu ICU nali yandikire. Then yatutwala paragraph 3.1 nti takujjuka nali yabaire. Then yatusomera paragraph 3.1 yatugamba gali mananu. Then 3.2 nagwo yakonfaminga gali mananu na 3.3 yatugamba nti wayataire mu room akalora mulwaire ndi abyambire mu nsonda. Kandi yatugamba mu ripooti yaye busawo bed number. Yatugamba nti akakebera mukono gwa Katanga nagati y'obwala. Kandi yamalire natugamba 3.4 nti emikono ya Katanga yamwale Katanga bikaba bisibirwe na bandage kwikira kimu abwala.
Thank you. Now, I just want you to look at Mrs. Katanga. She's there. That dark skinned lady there. Do you see her?
I'm seeing her, Mayor.
Now, can you read paragraph 3.5?
Light-skinned female adult.
I want us now to go to paragraph 4.1. Maybe 3.6. You had said in your evidence that she was not an oxygen. Right?
Yes, Mayor.
By the time you did what?
By the time I visited ICU.
By the time you visited the ICU. Right?
Yes, Mayor.
Now I want us to look at paragraph 4.1. Can you see paragraph 4.1?
Yes, Mayor.
Can you read it?
At the scene of crime, Officer Midas was to take control
Mm-hmm.
of her fingerprints,
Of her fingerprints,
swab, photograph, and recovery of any other item of evidence from the suspect.
so let us start with the fingerprints. Can you confirm you took Mrs. Katanga's fingerprints?
I did not take my own.
Can you confirm it was your task to take them?
Yes, my own.
Do you agree with me? No, rather, I put it to you that the work of a scene of crime officer is set out in the law. Are you aware of laws that govern how to manage a scene of crime? I can refresh your memory by giving you one. Yeah?
Yes, my own.
The Constitution Management of Exhibit Practice Directions. And I want to take you to Regulation 4S. I have highlighted it. I will expect it back. 4S. Yes, the witness will show us the context, my lord. I want her to get the document.
I have already advised Mr. Kampala to keep his peace. It is very difficult for him to know what I'm going to say before I say it. The moment you quote the law, my lord, you have to put it to the witness of fact. At best, that law must be applied. What we are saying. The practicing directions as they are being flashed upon us, even by their own context, they don't manage to feel other places. They are supposed to regulate and guide court proceedings on how to deal and admit cases. In fact, the practice direction is actually clear under paragraph 2 that these practice directions shall apply to courts of judicature. They are not made to regulate field operations on recovery and dealing with evidence. So I'm wondering, when my colleague puts the question to the witness in the context that this law is applicable to her work, I'm wondering whether that is a relevant question. Our humble view is that the question is irrelevant in the context in which he's putting it for witness.
My lord, it is the witness. I'm asking the witness questions, and I think it is very clear. Paragraph 3 of the objectives provide that the objectives are to ensure a standard and uniform approach in dealing with exhibits during and after investigation. Paragraph 3, subparagraph 2, to ensure the chain of integrity of custody of evidence. Paragraph 3, to ensure exhibits are free from violation of forces of nature. 4, to guide the judicial officer. My lord, the whole of this exhibit, the whole of the regulations, if you look at regulation 5, it's about recovering an exhibit. Regulation 6 is about marking exhibits. Regulation 7 is about chain of custody. Regulation 8 is about packaging. Regulation 9 is about storage. Regulation 10 is about management of exhibits under special circumstances. How courts apply them, my lord, comes to tendering at Regulation 25. That particular officer's work is specifically mentioned, a scene of crime officer, and what they are supposed to do within this regulation.
Rather than throw the law number from it, guys, leave her in the cross-examination.
My lord, I was interrupted. My lord, I want her to see what the law says about her role, and she confirms if this is exactly what her role is. Much obliged.
And ask,
According to
instead of throwing the
Much obliged. According to the Constitution Management of Exhibits Practice Directions, a scene of crime officer is the police officer mandated to seal and cordon off a crime scene. Mark items found at the crime scene, such as bullets, dead bodies, skid marks, vehicle, weapons, etc. Draw a sketch map of the crime scene. Take photographs and prepare a detailed report concerning the scene of crime. Is that a correct description of your work?
It's correct, my lord.
So you are supposed to cordon off the crime scene, right?
Yes,
and manage who gets in and who gets out, right? Using a rope. Right? You swab in between the fingers. All of those cannot be true, correct? You say all of them, the three of them together. It's wrapped up to the fingertips. You have swabbed the palm. You have swabbed. Those are three different areas, right?
Yes, madam.
Okay. And then you extracted DNA in 4.2, right?
Yes, madam.
Now in 4.3, yeah? In 4.3, you say that you couldn't take crime scene photographs. Am I correct to say you are not allowed to take photographs in the ICU?
As a part of the hospital,
Yes.
I could not take any crime scene photograph or video recording, tests and even identify.
Those are photographs and recording of you swabbing, right?
Yes.
You couldn't take photographs in the ICU, right?
Yes, madam.
You even say even identifier. By identifier, do you mean you couldn't mark the point at which you had swabbed?
Yes, madam.
Now again, look at 4.4. Read it to the court.
The whole exercise took only 10 minutes. I was done in the presence of the hospital nurse.
Again, there's nowhere where this Flavia signs. This is not the third instance we have of her. No signing, right? She has not signed any entry logs here, correct?
No, madam.
She doesn't even sign on your swabs, correct?
Not supposed to sign my swabs, my lord.
Okay. She doesn't sign or she signs?
She doesn't sign my swabs.
Okay, thank you. And this exercise took 10 minutes, right?
Yes, madam.
You've taken about 30 minutes to get to the ICU room, and then you take 10 minutes to get out, right?
Yes, madam.
And then you leave 4.5, you leave with Flavia and go back to the waiting team. Can you confirm that waiting team again had Kagarura, Okrut, and the Babas?
Yes, madam.
What about Bibiana? Can you confirm that by this time Bibiana had joined them?
Viviana was also there.
Bibiana was also there. And again, none of them signed for their presence in IHK on that day, right?
I don't know, my lord.
You did not prepare an entry log.
I can't tell my lord says what I'm in the other side.
Okay. Then in 4.6, I want you to just read 4.6 and 4.7 together.
As the team was leaving Dr. room, that's when last Flavia told us that there were clothes which she covered from the suspects on the Katanga. I saw a black polythene bag and an investigator team from Ginger Road. Research by last Flavia showed that there were exhibits recovered from the victim.
So just if I can read it again, you say in paragraph 4.7, I saw a black polythene bag handed over to investigator team from Ginger Road Police by Nurse Flavia, believing that they were exhibits recovered from the victim, Mole Katanga, to aid in investigation. Is this paragraph correct?
Is it correct?
So the exhibits were handed over in a black polythene bag to the investigators by Flavia.
Yes, my lord.
Now look at paragraph 8, 4.8. So paragraph 4.8.
I can wrap the exhibit from Flavia and handed them over to Division of Criminal Investigator Officer of General Police Station. Detective SP Akong, Indiana. Together with shot the suspected gunshot statement.
So, which of those two paragraphs is correct? 4.7 or 4.8?
They are correct.
In 4.7, Flavia hands over these exhibits to the investigators. In 4.8, you recover the exhibits from Flavia and hand them over to Bibiana.
Yes, madam.
Which is, did Flavia give them to you or did Flavia give them to Bibiana?
Give us to the team.
No, 4.7. You saw Flavia hand over to the team. 4.8, you recovered. So, whatever the case may be, is it correct that you handed over the exhibits to Akongo Bibiana at the hospital?
No, my lord.
Can you read 4.8?
I recovered a rough exhibit from Flavia. Then handed them over to the Divisional Investigating Officer of the General Police Station.
Who?
Detective.
So is it correct that you handed them over to Bibiana at the hospital?
There's nothing mentioned in the hospital. When it came.
You say, I recovered the wrapped exhibits from Flavia and then handed them over to the Division Criminal Investigating Officer, Ginger Road Police Station, Akongo Bibiana, together with the swabs of the suspected gunshot residue extracted from the suspect, Mole Katanga, and the buccal sterilized government swab, sticks for DNA for onward transmission to the government laboratory. Thereafter, what happened? Read it. Thereafter. Thereafter. Does it say thereafter I went to Kampala Police Station?
After leaving Ginger Road.
Does it say thereafter I went to Kampala Police Station?
Yes, my lord.
Is Ginger Road mentioned anywhere in 4.8? Is Ginger Road mentioned anywhere?
I could not mention
The
everything.
witness answers. Mr. Kalamba, it is just courteous, my lord, that you put a question, allow a witness to answer.
So let me put the question. Is Ginger Road mentioned anywhere in paragraph 4.8?
It's not mentioned, but that's
Thank
what
you.
it was.
Thank you. Now, as part of your work, when you recover exhibits, for example, people's clothes, do you fill out a search certificate?
It is done by CID.
Is it a requirement that a search certificate must be filled and signed by the person recovering an exhibit?
My lord, that's question is for CID, not me.
Is it a requirement?
I don't do the search, my lord.
To your, did you sign on as a person present? Did you sign on a search certificate at IHK when you recovered these items?
I don't sign on it.
Okay. Are you the officer who seized these items from IHK? Is it your evidence that you're the officer who seized these items from IHK? M1 to M7? No,
No, my lord.
you're not the one. Are you the one? You're not the one. Please don't be looking elsewhere for answers.
My lord, I'm supposed to report.
No, the ones in her report. They are M1 and M7 that are not in her report. these items in your report? Are you the one?
Let's get the aspect of M1 himself. They are confusing, and he knows that she has no connection with M1. She wouldn't even tell what M1 M7 is.
My lord, these
She knows
objections
how
are
M1
answers. I don't know if
No,
it's
no, 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 Mr. Karuhanga, don't take us for granted.
Let her answer what is in her report.
Her report.
Specific.
Yeah.
I'm asking about her report, my
There's
lord.
nothing
But
here.
there's
M1
nothing like
M7.
M1 to M7.
No.
And my lord,
I haven't-
evidence has already
Okay,
been
let me
there.
rephrase my
Mr.
question, my lord.
Karuhanga,
There's no need for an endless
No,
objection.
can
I'm
I-
rephrasing my question, my lord. I've accepted. I'm rephrasing my question.
If you accept it, this is
No, it's good as this is huh? So, did you sign on a search certificate for the items allegedly recovered from IHK hospital?
My lord, and I think that the question has already been answered because the witness clearly said she did not do any search.
No, she didn't say that. And again, my lord, that's what my objection. That's my objection, my lord. She didn't say that.
Sign.
Yes, and that objection is an answer.
She said she didn't sign.
Yes, so you didn't sign. I need it confirmed. So, okay, let me move on. Now, it is also correct that this polythene bag was not opened at IHK hospital, right?
It's true, my lord.
The items recovered were not photographed, right?
It was photographed by a so-called journalist.
They were not photographed at IHK hospital, right?
No, my lord.
In fact, you are not present when they are photographed at all, right?
No, not there.
I hope you can translate.
Twerigape paragraph 3.4 yatugamba Kaini nali yabe n'ataya mu ICU nti Katanga mole akaba atali ya oxygen. Then paragraph 4.1 yatugamba atatwale fingerprints za Katanga mole abokuba butabe mulimu gwayi. Then yatugamba emirimu ya prime of scene officer nti ali supposed kuteera ebisani by'ekyo kiikaro ateere maapu then wakumala andike report. Yatugamba kusawo atakole drawing yona mukono. Then paragraph 3.4 yatugamba nti omukono bakaba bakuteera bandage okwikira kimu abwala. Then paragraph 4.2 yatugamba we akakebera hagati y'omukono n'ombwala. Yatugamba 4.2 yatolereza DNA. Yatugamba batamwikirize kuteera ebisani n'okukwata vidiyo mu ICU. Then ya paragraph 4.4 yatugamba Nancy Flavia taina nali yasayinire. Yatugamba kino kikabatwalira dakika nka 10. Bweyamalirire yagenda yayunga abandi baizege nabo mukaire ako SP akombibiana akabalo. Then yatugamba nti ebizibiti ebyabaire mukapera ka bulaka Nurse Flavia niwe yabyereze bana aba investigating officer. Yatugamba paragraph 4.8 nti Ginger Road tena nali then yakugamba we undersigning such certificate. Then yakugamba nti akaveera ka black ko batakabulire IHK. Then yakugamba batatere nekisisani.
Defense? Translate please.
Okay. So okay. So this entire exercise of yours, this entire undocumented exercise of yours lasted about 45 minutes. Right?
Which exercise?
From the time you got in at 2 until the time you left.
I can't tell.
Roughly 45 minutes to an hour.
I can't tell.
My lord, can I be protected? I'm going to ask the question. You had estimated for us that you waited for about 20 minutes at the reception, right? Right? In your evidence. You estimated that your time in the room took 10 minutes, right? That's 30 minutes. You then leave and recover a polythene bag and go, correct? That exercise altogether, 30 minutes for the exercise of recovering the polythene bag. That would have taken another 10 minutes, another 30 minutes, how long?
I can't tell my own time.
But not very long. In the scheme of this, you just recover the polythene bag as you were leaving. Correct?
I think let's record what she can't remember.
Yes, okay, my lord. As you were leaving, is it correct that as you were leaving IHK, you recovered the polythene bag? According to paragraph 4 point.
Not leaving HK, leaving the doctor's room. We are now coming up the corridor.
Then you got a polythene bag, which you didn't open and you didn't mark, right? You did that at Ginger Road, right? Right?
We don't leave from Ginger Road, we open from Ginger Road.
So you got the polythene bag with your sterilized swab sticks and left. Up to Ginger Road, correct?
Yes, madam.
So it's fair to say that by 3 p.m. you would have gone.
I could not see the time we are now coming on.
But roughly.
I can't tell that on my own.
Okay. Now, you also okay. I have instructions from my client, Mrs. Katanga, that she has never been treated by a doctor called Brian. And she has no knowledge of any such doctor at IHK. Do you have any evidence to contradict my instructions?
I can't answer that question.
That means no.
I can't answer it. I can't answer that question, my lord.
Do you have any evidence to contradict my instruction?
I can't answer the question.
Okay?
She cannot answer whether or not a doctor named Brian has ever attended Mrs. Katanga.
In fact, I want to suggest to you that you don't even know if there is a doctor named Brian who works at IHK hospital.
That information got from Brian. So I don't know if it's Brian, but doesn't name was given.
But on your own, you don't have any personal knowledge.
My lord don't work in the HK. I don't know if it's a doctor Brian.
In fact, you have no knowledge of if there is a nurse called Flavia to IHK.
But I know their faces. I can say this is the doctor who describes himself as Brian, or this is Flavia. It's verification.
And do we have their faces before us in evidence?
Nicholas want to confirm, my lord.
Now, my lord, you can translate.
Tugambire takusobola kyebereza obwire bwe bamazire IHK. Then yatugamba nti bakatumba kabeera ka black nibaluga mu ruumu ya dokita. Bwe bamazire bagenda Jinja Road Police Station. Then yatugamba nti wetakusobola okugalukamu Dr. Brian oba yakajanjabaga muri Katanga Lubikwano. Then yatugamba akusobola kwetegereza Dr. Brian na Nancy Kabia ababoyinyewo apesi.
It's fine. It's coming fine, but
My lord, I'm winding
are
up.
you winding up your
I'm winding up.
examination?
Mr. Kalaga, I'll continue maybe tomorrow.
Because it's 5:30.
My lord, should I continue now or? I have to
If you have something,
Very
you
few.
want to wind up now.
Okay, so now, it is your evidence. Am I correct? Maybe let me ask it like this. Can you confirm that throughout this time, you did not meet any of Mrs. Katanga's next of kin or any of her relatives?
I don't know them.
You did not meet them.
No, my lord.
And it is your evidence that you did not sign anywhere at IHK.
We send the visa book.
You signed the visitor's book at the gate.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have that copy, you took a copy of it or a picture of you.
No, my lord.
Did you sign in the ICU as well? Did you sign in the book as you entered the ICU?
It was a visa book for the doctor.
Where did you sign? Did you sign the visitor's book at the gate or did you sign the visitor's book as you enter the ICU?
The doctor's room.
Or you signed in the doctor's room? You signed with Dr. Brian.
Yes.
So you did not sign in the ICU.
What about at the gate?
And again, we never.
You didn't sign at the gate. Now, it is your evidence that you visited a patient in IHK hospital, right?
True, my lord.
And that you visited her in a room you've described in your report as an ICU, right?
Yes, my lord.
And you want us to believe that when you went there, you put things in her mouth, right?
No thing, my lord. It's a strong
You
stick.
put a swab, you inserted a swab stick in her mouth, right? As her eyes were closed.
Yes, my lord.
And you want us to believe that her hands which were bandaged, you took charge of them, right?
Yes, my lord.
And swabbed them in all manner of places, right?
Yes, my lord.
And that you did this on the 2nd of November between 2 and 3 p.m.
My lord, time is not here. I can't accept the time.
You're the one who gave us 2, right? Are you the one who gave us 2 or you're not the one?
I said I left there, my lord, at 1400 hours. I'm not saying that I was there that time.
You said you arrived there at 1400 hours, you took 20 minutes to get in, and you took 10 minutes while inside. So you did that exercise. I've added you another 30 minutes within an hour. I have with me a chart from ICU IHK showing that Mole Katanga was admitted in the ICU at 1700 hours, 5 p.m., long after you had left. Isn't the reason why you cannot supply any evidence in this court because you were never at IHK? My chart reads 1700 hours, received Mole Katanga, a 53-year-old female, non-hypertensive. At that time, you were in Ginger Road marking dresses. So you never saw Mole Katanga.
My Lord, I don't know Mole Katanga,
Thank
but
you.
I would identify Nance Flavia
Who you don't know?
showing me this Mole Katanga.
In fact, Mrs. Katanga was being operated at the time you claim you were in IHK. I want to wind up by taking you to paragraph 3.5. Read it.
The suspect was not an oxygen.
3.5.
She was a light-skinned female adult.
She was a light-skinned female adult. I put it to you that until today you have never seen the dark-skinned Mole Katanga. I put it to you, you are not at IHK. I put it to you that you've never swabbed her and your entire evidence is a total fabrication.
If you compare her to
It's, my lord, I'm comparing her to Mr. Karika.
compare her to me, she's like, and even compare to her. Yeah.
My lord, we are comparing her to Mr.
Let counsel compare himself.
To you that on the 2nd of November you were nowhere near IHK hospital.
My Lord, I was not told I was the one hospital.
Pardon?
That date.
Pardon?
I was in the hospital on that date, my Lord.
No further question. No further question.
Let's translate and let's close it here.
Atugambire nti takayitiranikiranaga nabalala ati lupa Katanga. Then yatugamba bwe bayigire mu IHK bakasayininga mu visitors book. Yakyora yatugamba akasayininge mu gate book. Then yatugamba akateeka kaswam stick mu munwa gwa Katanga. Then yatugamba akakyora yakebera mukono mu mikono ya Katanga yabaire einawo bandage. Yatugamba weta kumanya Mole Katanga kyonka omuntu yamutwaire akabanansi. Then yatutwala paragraph 3.5 yatugamba Mole Katanga ali mukazi wa brown kandi mukulu. Yatugamba we akaba airwaro kirenge. Thank you.
Lord, so that we minimize tomorrow's time, because immediately after Mr. Does council want to share hospital chart that he put in
My
issue.
lord, we shall talk. These are
No,
not
this
things.
is not a
These
private
are not things.
conversation,
These are not things we do at the bar. If I had tried to tender it, he would have quarreled with me.
Yes.
So since he doesn't want me to tender it, I will keep my things. But if we talk after here, we shall agree. These are, my lord, before we take things to the bench, we should resolve them privately. Let us not involve my lord in
This is not a private matter between me and
Actually, this is someone's medicals. I need permission from them.
yeah. Yes, my lord, he need not have tendered it. The moment he puts it in issue, and the cross-examines on a witness, and if it goes on court record as a matter of fact, then justice requires that we have a look at it, we examine it, and we re-interview this witness on that question that was. So if this medical chart exists and it contains those facts as my land brother has put it, it's only fair that we look at it as prosecution and prepare for re-examination. But Mr. Karwanga can say that the facts that he put up are not as factual as represented. Then we can abandon it, but we want the record.
He has used it to impeach the credibility of the client.
Yes.
Of the
Yes.
witness.
Yes.
It's only fair that the prosecution
It's okay. That's the right then. You have seen everything on social media. That's the rider.
So Mr. Morgan, you have access to
Yes. Yes, my lord, because I really do need to get permission from my client to give out a form to Mr. Morgan, which is not very fond of.
It's okay, but
But I assure him I will be able to talk to the client and give it to him. We should treat people's medical records respectfully. So I will speak to her, and after getting the instruction, I will contact him.
this is a criminal trial. It's a criminal trial.
especially since it has been brought out.
Yeah. I will speak to her and provide it to him. Let him.
Yes, my lord, things which are private should never be brought in public. When you opt to bring them in public, surely. Yeah.
He can argue against her rights. You will allow me to speak to her and give to him. Much obliged. I know he has no regard for her rights.
No, let's see. Before people bounce on each other, sometimes that done 18th June 2025.
I know they have received the instruction to give to you. Oh, tomorrow.